Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, kids of all ages. Thanks for tuning into Almost Live at Brewminatti. We always like to start off, as you know, by thanking our advertisers and sponsors, which include this evening Prosper Memorial Health, Friends and Family of Dr. Burfield, Refined Media, AJW Construction, and Chapman Lamson Real Estate, all local Prosper businesses, so support them as you can. Believe it or not, it's been 15 weeks since our last real audience concert with Danny Barnes, and somehow it feels much longer than that. This is our third almost live streaming event during that long musical dry spell, and we could not be more pleased with tonight's show with Jacob Jolliff. A couple of things before we start. You're going to see throughout the show, there's going to be some pop-up information on where to send your hard-earned cash in support of either Jacob or Brewminatti, or both if you happen to be financially independent. We will joyfully accept your donations. Just follow your heart, people. Just follow your heart. I will say also we do have some new Brewminatti t-shirts for sale. On the front, the logo says Brewminatti, Washington's premier listening room. And on the back is the COVID-19 tour information. It's just a list of all the shows we've had to cancel this summer. It is both funny and sad. They are $22, so if you're paying via Venmo or PayPal, just tell us you want a t-shirt. If you want us to ship it, throw an extra $5 on there and we'll get it to you. Thank you for playing. Throughout the course of the evening, we'll also be on Facebook, monitoring Facebook. If you have questions for Jacob, I will have some of my own for him later, but if you have some, post them on the Facebook page and I will ask him later in the evening. As I said, this is only our third streaming show, but it is our third time having Jacob here, and we are absolutely thrilled to have him play for you this morning. So, ladies and gentlemen, virtual applause for Jacob Jolliff.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Appreciate it. That is the most thunderous applause I've heard in months, so I really appreciate that. Well, it's great to be back here at Brewminatti. This is easily the longest stretch I've gone without a gig since I was 9 years old, I would say, or maybe 7 years old, actually. So it is amazing to get to drive to a venue, unload all my stuff, mandolin, warm up, sound check, play a show. It's such a great feeling. So thanks to Brewminatti and Marty for having me, and this amazing film crew and sound crew. I haven't seen one of these in a while. So, well, I'm going to pick that was a jazz standard called Someday My Prince Will Come. And I'm going to do a bluegrass-ish tune now. It's not really too bluegrass-ish, but same key, though. I just realized that. Ooh, I might tune just for 1 second. They also did me the courtesy of setting up a PA in the room, which that also is an amazing feeling to get to play through mics.
Baby, what are you saying? We're just getting lost. Leave this one-horse town like two rebels without a cause. I've got people in Boston, ain't your daddy still in Des Moines? We can pack up tomorrow, tonight let's flip a coin. It's Carolina, 'tis California, somewhere greener, somewhere warmer, up in the mountains, down by the ocean, where it don't matter, as long as we're going somewhere together. I've got a quarter, it's Carolina, 'tis California. We can load what we own in the back of a U-Haul van. A couple modern day Moses searching for the promised land. We can go for 100 miles before we stop for gas. We can drive for a day, then we'll take a look at the map. It's Carolina, 'tis California, somewhere greener, somewhere warmer, up in the mountains, down by the ocean, where it don't matter, as long as we're going somewhere together. I've got a quarter, it's Carolina, 'tis California. We're gonna get out of here if we have to ride a Greyhound bus. outrun the bad luck that's trailing us. It's Carolina, tis California, somewhere greener, somewhere warmer, up in the mountains, down by the ocean where it don't matter, as long as we're going somewhere together. I've got a quarter, it's Carolina, tis California.
Thank you. Well, that's a tune that more often play with my group, the Jacob Jolliff Band. So I want to send that out to all the members and people who have toured with me in that group. I miss them all, and looking forward to getting to play with them again sometime soon. I've had to teach the harmony parts on that tune to a lot of different guys. All right, now we'll do a real bluegrass song here.
night in Kentucky, beneath the beautiful harvest moon, and I was the boy that was lucky. But it all ended too soon. As I sit here alone in the moonlight, I see your smiling face, and I long once more for your embrace and the beautiful Kentucky waltz. Thank you.
Thank you. That was a Charlie Parker tune called Relaxing at Camarillo. Let's see here. I'm going to do a tune that I wrote now, an instrumental. Let's see, how much time have we got? I know we got plenty of time. 5, 8 minutes, cool. I'll do a couple more. Then. This is one I wrote for the teacher I had at Berkeley, John McGann, a great mandolinist that passed away, and one about when he won the Winfield National Mandolin Championship. Thank you. Do maybe one more here and then get Marty up here. Let's see. Uh-oh, 2 in the same key again. That's not going to work. All right, I'm going to do a tune by probably my biggest hero on the mandolin, Mr. Ronnie McCurry. So if Ronnie's out there somewhere listening, I play his tunes pretty often, so he might be sick hearing me playing them by now, but this is one that I remember listening to just as a little kid. This one would come on, and I would listen to this record every morning, and then when this tune would come on, I would run and get my mandolin and try to have it up and ready by the time the mandolin solo came around. But this is one called Baltimore Johnny. Thank you. Baltimore Johnny.
In this time of uncertainty, we want to assure you that our Prosser Memorial Health family of clinics remain open, working relentlessly to ensure your safety. This includes an off-site standalone clinic for respiratory illness patients. Our team of providers are here and ready to care for you and your loved ones. This is how we care. To schedule an appointment or learn more, visit prosserhealth.org.
With my son Tucker, we purchased Chapman Lamson Real Estate in July of last year. Please remember, retail isn't the only shop local. There are insurance agencies, local builders, tax professionals, and of course, real estate agencies. So when you use local, Prosser money stays in Prosser. Thanks again.
At AJW, we bring the best construction services to our clients through quality craftsmanship, clear communication, and organization. Give us a call for your remodeling and home building needs.
We started Refined Media because we saw a need for higher quality media content that tells a story. Jason and myself are passionately creative people.
We want to help tell your story. Using a collaborative approach and applying our 30-plus years of combined experience, we create unique and visually compelling content that will set you apart from your competition.
This is our main goal.
And we're determined to help build your brand. Our team can do this with many different disciplines.
We will bring your company's mission to life.
We're ready to get to work.
Allow us to help create, compel, and separate you from the rest.
All right, we're back to almost live at Brewminatti with Jacob Jolliff. So Jacob, we've been listening to your phalangeal dexterity. Is that a word? I think it's a real word. So now it's time to test your mental acuity.
Okay.
I have 10 specially
Sounds
prepared
awful.
questions for you. Number one, at what age did you know that music was your thing, or at least did you want it to be your thing?
I think from the point at which I realized that people had things. You know?
Is that right?
Yeah, there's
If you have to have a thing, it might as well.
Yeah, there was some. My dad had some sort of career or vocation talk with me when I was like, at the age where you should have that talk, 8 or 9. That's what he thought.
Seems a touch early, but
I remember him saying that I said, "Oh, I'm a mandolin player," like at that age. So,
Really?
and I don't think I was much of one at that point. So, but I grew into it a little bit.
So if that's a long time, that's always been your career path. Have you ever considered, if you couldn't be a musician, what do you suppose you might be doing instead?
Not really, unfortunately, So there's other stuff that sounds interesting, but, when you get so far down the rabbit hole with something, it stays pretty interesting,
Yeah.
It's like, and for me, like even, I work on a few other instruments, but for me, there's just like so much I want to do on the mandolin that it's hard to find enough time in the day to just do that, Though I do remember also, not to pick on my dad because I think he's watching right now, but anytime I would express any interest in anything other than music, he would show all this excitement. And I remember, this is nothing against plumbers because that's a great thing to do, but I think I just picked that one randomly one day. My family was sitting around the table eating, and Dad had gone into the next room, and I said to my sisters, watch this, I'm gonna pretend like I really decided I want to become a plumber. Watch how excited Dad's gonna get. And so he came back in the room, and I remember like, man, Dad, I've really been thinking about I think I want to become a plumber instead of a mandolin. And of course, he like jumped all over. He's like, that's a great idea, Jake. You're right. Nothing against plumbing. Yeah.
So he never discouraged music, but
Not
he certainly
exactly.
encouraged other avenues of possibility for you.
Yeah, and he's a musician, so he encouraged
yeah.
it plenty too. But
Nice.
yeah.
So you have, over the course of your career, played to both very small audiences and very big audiences. What do you like about both? And sub-question, what's probably the biggest audience you've played to?
Yeah, I've played to kind of most ends of the spectrum in that regard. And yeah, it doesn't usually have much to do with how much fun I have. There's a lot of other variables that impact that. Who I'm playing with, what kind of night I'm having just playing wise, am I feeling it? The sound situation, that's a huge one. You can play a great big room with great sound and it's really fun. You can play a small room with great sound, it's really fun. And you can have the opposite be the case for both too. But Red Rocks, when I was in Yonder, we played there, and that obviously an honor to get to play there. It's an amazing venue. We played to a couple crowds that were like over 20,000, not there, at other places. That would be the biggest. We did a Jerry Garcia tribute thing that was like 20-some thousand.
Wow.
But I mean, honestly, it's not. It was fun, but you don't engage with the crowd in the same way.
Right.
I've had a lot of my favorite shows in like 100 to 200 cap rooms.
We like to hear you say that.
Yep.
So in terms of your musical influences, we probably already heard some of them this evening, but who are those performers for you that you go back to over and over and draw inspiration from?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not doing too much stuff that I wrote tonight, so kind of a good demonstration of the guys I'm into, Charlie Parker, and Bill Evans. He didn't write Someday My Prince, but he's got a famous version. A lot of jazz, John Coltrane, and Ronnie McCoury, as I mentioned. I did a tune to his. John McGann, who was the tune I wrote, who was my teacher in college, he was a big influence. And my dad, for that matter, he was a big influence. Taught me for a long time, played a lot of shows with him. Bill Monroe, Kentucky Waltz, he made famous.
Right.
Bill Monroe was a big influence for sure.
So an interesting hybrid of jazz and bluegrass players.
Yeah, it's a lot of, and some pop music from certain, eras definitely too, but a lot of jazz and
Like
bluegrass.
Britney Spears and that kind of stuff you're thinking?
Some of that's pretty good, yeah. Sure.
In the increasingly likely event that COVID drama drags into 2021, are you willing to reveal your secrets of the man bun? Perhaps video lessons?
I think
Because we're all getting a little bit shaggy.
all interest in the man bun, I think, has kind of faded over the last few years, which I'm fine with. I got to figure out something different.
Yeah.
My mom's been sending me.
It makes a great graphic, though, for the posters.
It does. It's recognizable.
it is.
It's almost to a fault, But my mom's been sending me pictures of different hairstyles to check out. So maybe
Subtle.
I'll figure something out. Yeah.
Subtle. So the first time you played here, we were discussing this earlier, actually. The first time you played here with your band, you had Stash playing guitar and Alex on fiddle and Miles on bass, and just wow. I don't even really have a question here. Just wow. It was still one of the most dynamic, joyful, close to going off the rails, but not quite brand of musicianship that I have encountered. So I guess here's my follow-up question to that. Assuming none of them are watching, who annoys you more personally, Stash, Alex, or Miles?
I think you could safely say it's neck and neck. No, I mean they're all great
Depends on what
guys.
part of the tour.
Yeah, exactly. They're all great guys to travel with. They can obviously all play like nobody's business,
Yeah.
and then they're consummate professionals. So honestly, they're all on time. They all play the stuff. If they're too hungover to play, they don't let on. So that's kind of all you can really ask for as a band leader. So I don't think any of them really annoy me. I'm sure I annoy them.
Yeah.
Because I'm a bit of a whip cracker on the road, but yeah, it's not really the other way though.
So this is the real question, actually. A lot of musicians who play at your level especially if they're the front man of the band or the front woman of the band or whatever. They like to surround themselves with musicians who are almost as good as they are. You know what I mean? But not quite.
Yeah.
My impression of the two different lineups you brought through is you're okay with sharing the spotlight a little bit. I mean, it is still the Jacob Jolliff band, but there's a lot of space for the other guys to shine.
Yeah.
So have I read that correctly?
Yeah, I mean, I think the reason I started a band more than any particular inspiration for a sound, I think that came later, but was just an opportunity to play with those guys you mentioned and a lot of other guys that have subbed for those guys. And I think in general, like, Alex is amazing, Miles is amazing, Stash is amazing, and there's nobody that can play like them on any other instruments.
Yeah.
And so when I have a sub, it's, someone that's just as great, but they do a different thing. And I think
Right.
at a certain level, when everyone has their own voice, you don't really get a sub for what that person does. You just have a new musical personality that you incorporate. And I would never, you wouldn't want someone to try to be Stash or try to be Alex,
Well, and I don't even know how you describe your music, but it's not traditional bluegrass, it's not traditional jazz, it's some kind of interesting hybrid of the two in places. Do you, when you guys are touring together, if you're running a 3-month run of shows, do you ever play a song the same way twice?
I mean, the arrangements stay similar. They'll all make changes to them, and they evolve, but there's a lot of improvising. I mean, just like what I'm doing now, right, solo, there's a ton of improvising.
Right.
I mean, nobody's playing written out solos, no matter how fast or complicated. I've never heard, that I can think of, I've never heard a single guy play like a composed solo in that, maybe some more for like our recordings.
Right.
People will come up with stuff sometimes.
Right.
Certainly I do. But live, that's the fun of it.
Yeah.
And I think the more the band evolves, the more that direction we're trying to go too.
One of the little bio things I read about you said that you were homeschooled.
Mm-hmm.
So at the time, did you love it or hate it? And has that opinion changed over time?
It hasn't changed too much. I mean, I think for a lot of people it wouldn't be a fun way to go, but I was playing a lot of music, playing a lot of shows, had a lot of musical friends my age and older in the Oregon bluegrass community, and then also in the national bluegrass community. I've known Alex since we were kids.
Yeah, there are pictures of you guys. You look pretty young.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of other guys. Dominic Leslie, great mandolinist. Sarah Jarose. And we all have known each other since we were really young.
Wow.
And it's cool because a lot of that crowd is still playing and still making a living, and some of them are winning a lot of Grammys. I'm not quite in that crew yet, but
it's a good group to hang out with.
Yeah, it's a good group to hang out with.
In an ideal world, you're now planning your first major headlining world tour. Who do you get to open for you?
Oh man, that's not something I've thought about a whole lot. I'm still more at the how many pre-sales do we have? Like, what's that going to look like in this room type of phase, which, I mean, there's a lot of people that would be fun to go on the road with. I think definitely more in terms of bands I'd like to open for.
Right, right.
And most of the guys I think that would be fun to have open or be out on the road with us, I wouldn't necessarily say they should open, This isn't an example of ones that should open at all, but we've done a couple bills with the Brother Brothers. I noticed that, they've played here.
You like the Brother Brothers?
Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah.
And if they're listening, I'm definitely telling them they should open for us. But to everyone else,
right? It might be the other way around.
No, I'm just kidding. But they're great guys, and they're neighbors of mine in Brooklyn, and it's a good pairing, those two bands.
Yeah. They're very enjoyable fellows as well.
They're hilarious.
Finally, not necessarily in terms of musicianship or even popularity, whatever that is, but is there anybody that you've kind of watched whose overall career, whatever that looks like, that you have found intriguing and maybe worth emulating to some degree, or hoping for a career arc?
There's a bunch of guys. I mean, kind of envious of different things about different people. You know?
Yeah.
I guess Bela Fleck's a great example of someone that's played a lot of different genres,
Right.
had a lot of success, played, fronted a lot of great groups, been part of a lot of great groups. Obviously, Chris Thiele on the mandolin.
I've heard of him.
Yeah, you've heard of him. Yeah, he's been able to take the mandolin amazing places.
Right.
Both his facility on it and just career-wise. But then guys like John Coltrane, are just as inspiring. Who were just practicing 10 hours a day their whole life, and their sound was always changing.
Yep.
And each new album was a different sound.
Yep.
And to me, sometimes that's the most inspiring thing, because he was kind of changing regardless of what people expected him to play. He was always playing something different.
So a lot of people would watch you or listen to you and think, wow, what more can you do? But in your mind, you got that kind of Coltrane where he was always playing, always expanding, always trying new things. So that's kind of the direction you're seeing.
That's the ideal,
Yeah.
I think even more so for someone to hear you and then a year later hear you and have it sound way different.
Right.
That's kind of my goal.
Right.
Huh. Yeah.
I think you passed the test. Those are all the questions I had. Just a quick break and we'll be back with the second set with Jacob Jolliff. Thank you.
All right. That's a good question.
In this time of uncertainty, we want to assure you that our Prosser Memorial Health family of clinics remain open, working relentlessly to ensure your safety. This includes an off-site standalone clinic for respiratory illness patients. Our team of providers are here and ready to care for you and your loved ones. This is how we care. To schedule an appointment or learn more, visit prosserhealth.org.
With my son Tucker, we purchased Chapman Lamson Real Estate in July of last year. Please remember, retail isn't the only shop local. There are insurance agencies, local builders, tax professionals, and of course, real estate agencies. So when you use local, Prosser money stays in Prosser. Thanks again.
At AJW, we bring the best construction services to our clients through quality craftsmanship, clear communication, and organization. Give us a call for your remodeling and home building needs.
We started Refined Media because we saw a need for higher quality media content that tells a story. Jason and myself are passionately creative people.
We want to help tell your story. Using a collaborative approach and applying our 30-plus years of combined experience, we create unique and visually compelling content that will set you apart from your competition.
This is our main goal.
And we're determined to help build your brand. Our team can do this with many different disciplines.
We will bring your company's mission to life.
We're ready to get to work.
Allow us to help create, compel, and separate you from the rest.
Thank you. Let's see.
Wait a minute, did I hear you say you're going far away again? Try to change it, I can't take the lonely nights without your love. You're doing the road, get the music done and move along. Good does it do? You play your songs for her and to her say, wait a minute, did I hear you say you're going far away again? Try to change it, I can't take the lonely nights without your love. Life's been good to you, and even so, she comes to you late at night's the time you hear her say, once again, wait a minute, did I hear you say you're going far away again? Try to change it, I can't take the lonely nights without your love. for you 30 days and nights without a rest. I've got to hold on 25 to go and once again. Are you saying, hey, yeah, wait a minute, did I hear you say you're going far away again? Try to change it, I can't take the lonely nights without your love. Wait a minute, did I hear you say you're going far away again? lonely nights without your love.
Thank you. It was one of my favorite tunes done by the great bluegrass band The Seldom Seen. One of the best of all time. Let's see here. Let's do another bluegrass one. Ooh. Might have to change these strings, to be honest. It's the longest I've gone without changing strings in years. And I think it's time.
You told me that your love was true. Sweetheart, I thought the world of you. Now you've left me all alone. I have no one to call my own. Now, sweetheart, you done me wrong. You have left me all alone. Maybe there will come a time, sweetheart, when you change your mind. I never shall forget the day, sweetheart, when you were gone away. I couldn't believe that it was true. After all the love I had for you. Now, sweetheart, you done me wrong. You have left me all alone. Maybe there will come a time, sweetheart, when you change your mind. The road is rough and rocky too, as I travel on, dear, without you. But I'm still praying for the time, sweetheart, when you will change your mind. Now, sweetheart, you done me wrong. You have left me all alone. Maybe there will come a time, sweetheart, when you change your mind. your mind. Maybe there will come a time, sweetheart, when you'll change your mind.
Thank you. That was another one made famous by the great Bill Monroe. Let's see, how much time do I have here, Marty? Oh, cool. Sounds good. Let's see here.
checks, you're bound to die. You're bound to die. You better out on the train from Buffalo to Washington. Thank you.
Thank you all for tuning in, watching the show. Thanks to all the supporters and advertisers who helped us pull this together. And mostly thank you to you, Jacob. And boy, are we excited to be open again and have you and your friends back here to play with the full band. But we appreciate you coming out to do this for us.
Thank you.
You got one more in you before we go?
You bet.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much to Brewminatti and to Marty for having me today, and my band in the past, and to the crew. I didn't get everyone's names, but the crew doing a great job on the video and the sound. Much appreciated. All right, I'll send you out of here with one more jazz standard here. Thank you.